The worst Bible translations that you can read. Built in this video by Carrie Blake. Let's watch.
Right? There are some good translations out there, and there are some terrible translations out there. Right? There are certain translations that, honestly, if I personally had the money, and I heard you had that kind of Bible, I'd say, you bring that Bible, I'll buy you another Bible and give you another Bible just to get you out of that thing. And then there are times when certain translations are good for you at that point in your development, but hopefully you move quickly on through it, right? Some of them, and I've read these. I read these early on and realized that they were not saying what the Bible said, so I quickly retired them and found better translations. But probably two of the worst is, number one, the Message Bible. Probably one of the worst. It's not even a translation. It is a version, right? It's not even called a translation. And then, of course, the other one is, actually, it's called a translation, but the man who wrote it had no qualifications to write it. And so he actually wrote it for his children and his grandkids, and he just wrote out nice little things. And again, it does not hold true. And that's called the Living Bible. The Living Bible, the Living New Testament, those things. So neither one of those are worth reading. And if you want it, you say, well, but it's easy reading. Well, just because it's easy, if it's not worth reading, it's not worth reading whether it's easy or not, right? And it's definitely not worth you reading to your kids. It'd be better for you to...
The thing here is that the reading, like he says, these versions do not communicate the exact same message, or they do not represent an accurate translation of the Bible manuscripts. Like, for example, the Message translation that was referenced. You basically, if I understand him correctly, it's you can place the Message translation on the same level as those children's Bibles that we find in bookstores. We know that they are not translations. They are just people who communicate and write Bible stories to children, and so that's the difference. But in the whole scenario, if in this case, you don't read the actual translated words of the Holy Scriptures of the Bible. And so, why would you want to feed yourself with something that is not an accurate translation of the Holy Scriptures? Something that is not the Word of God, but rather paraphrase. Now, obviously, if you just start out with reading the Bible, it will help you on these kind of translations will help you understand. And especially they put it in a language that you can understand. I know the Message Bible is so plainly, but for me, it is just the fact that it's like when I read it, it's like I'm reading a newspaper. And I can't have a Bible that is on the same level as a newspaper. But yeah, so Carrie Blake shared from his opinion and his experience what those worst translations are. And just as you search out the best translation, do it prayerfully and practice discernment, and make sure you know which are thorough translations of the biblical manuscripts. For me, that would be the King James translation, KJV, and other translations that is translated from the same manuscripts that the King James Bible was translated from, same biblical manuscripts. But yeah, I really think that it shouldn't be, when choosing a Bible translation, it shouldn't be about preference, but rather it should be about choosing a translation that accurately represents the authentic message and the biblical manuscripts. Thank you for watching from my side. See you on the next one. Shalom.